Hi guys, and welcome back. It's week 2 at the Loft House. Today and this week is all about the shoulders. So I'm going to share with you 5 of my favourite shoulder stretches today, especially to loosen up into this thoracic spine or the mid-back. Let's try to dissociate or move the rib cage without the pelvis and try and open up a little bit more into the ball and socket. So here we go. Number 1. First off, guys, I've got a bit of equipment here. So I've got specialised equipment and just stuff you're going to find at home. So you've got a TheraBand, or a flexi band, or just a good old-fashioned sock. So I'm going to use the stuff at home so you guys can see that you can do this without requiring any specialized equipment. So I'm going to grab my sock and start to warm up into my shoulders. I'm going to take the arms up and allow my eyes to follow up. As I exhale, I'm going to bring the arms back behind me, and they might stop here. You may have to bend the elbows, or you may have to bring the arms all the way back towards the pelvis. We're going to inhale and let the arms come up, starting to lubricate, rolling the ball and socket around themselves in the shoulder joint, and exhale it back down. You can get really creative with this, lifting up. I'm going to try and lift from our rib cage. So I'm going to try and bring the rib cage in a lot, lifting the breastbone towards the chin. Eyes can look up as long as the neck's happy and the arms back down. We can do some circles with the arms. We can get really exciting. If you're finding it comfortable with your arms this distance apart, then stay like that. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, just take your hands in closer on your sock. Make sure there's a bit of give. So that's why I'm using a big sock. You can use a scarf as well, like a woolen scarf, but certainly something with a bit of elasticity really works. I'm going to start to circle the rib cage, and maybe if I take my singlet off, you guys will see what my rib cage is doing. It's almost like a belly dance. Keep the arms swinging around, you guys, and drive it from your rib cage. So the ribs want to find this beautiful circular movement around and separate from the pelvis. I'm going to try and sit tall on my sit bones and stay there and just work the rib cage and shoulder blades. Shoulder blade forms the socket of the ball and socket shoulder joint, and the shoulder blades roll around this beautiful contour that is the mid-back. So you can see when my arms and my mid-back reach through, the shoulder blades are getting a really lovely massage. I can take it into any variation on these arms. I'm going to watch the hands with my eyes, make sure the neck's happy. I'm going to hold it, reaching long. I'm going to allow the mid-back to come into a slight lateral curve. I'm going to bring it over the other side. So just anything you guys want to do to try and warm and loosen up. You can try and work just the thoracic cage and leave the arms out of it and move the rib cage around on top of the pelvis. So you can try and work this idea of belly dancing, rolling through. Again, giving those shoulders a good massage just to warm up and loosen up and bring your attention to that mid-back thoracic spine. The idea that the shoulder blades move along and over the top of the rib cage. Now when you're feeling nice and warm and the breath's a little elevated, the heart rate as well, we're going to move on into some really lovely stretches. So again, choose to stay there as long as you want. Play with some different positions, work diagonals, work into a nice rainbow stretch, lateral flexion through the side spine, and keep, of course, both sit bones planted into the ground. So you can really work the rib cage away from the pelvis. Make sure the neck's not strained, make sure the shoulders are under control and released, and you can work the arms backwards, forwards, try and touch every part of those rib cages into the mid-back that you can. Ooh. Again, I'm going to show you guys how you can use specialized equipment, or you can also use just what you've got at home. So I've got a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, then you might have just a towel, a big fat towel or a blanket that you might wrap up and stick some tape around, or you might even have a yoga wheel. If you don't have a yoga wheel, you could even use a basketball or a netball or a soccer ball. So I'm going to use this basketball. I'm going to stick it back behind my back, just under my rib cage, so making sure my lower back is free. To keep my knees bent, so I'm nice and comfortable, the pelvis and lower back is protected. I'm going to sweep my arms back around in a big circle, allow the head to drop. Now if you're not comfortable to drop your head, you might want to grab a pillow. I'll just grab my bolster, and I'm going to put it back behind the head, so my head's got something to touch and rest on. If you're not comfortable with that position, then use your hands behind your head and roll over the ball like this. So you can change the position of your thoracic spine, remembering your mid-back was designed to twist and designed to laterally bend, so lateral flexion. It also has the capacity to flex and extend forwards and backwards bending, but that has to happen as a united movement through the entire 12 vertebrae of that thoracic spine. So continue just to roll. You can make circles, you can do diagonals with the arms. You're going to be a big octopus and roll the arms and float around like, ooh, you're floating in the currents of the water. So feel free to play with this. If you've got a ball or a yoga wheel, you can even curl the pelvis up, roll the bottom, and start to move over the ball or the wheel. So you can roll from the base of your neck towards the lower part of the thoracic spine. Don't go into the lower back, just so you can protect that lower spine for now. Remember, we're targeting the mid-back. We're trying to open into that thoracic spine and get more movement through the shoulder blades, the thoracic spine, and that ball and socket joint. So enjoy that movement. We should be feeling really, really nice and warm. You can pause, you can take it to the side, and roll it any way you want. So don't be scared to play around with what equipment you have around the house. You don't have to rush out and buy anything special. We can use anything that we come across in the house. So when you're happy, make sure you protect the neck to come up. We're going to move ourselves into a nice extension for the thoracic spine. So again, you might have something at home like some yoga blocks. If you don't have some yoga blocks, then you've got a couple of big fat books. So you can use your books. And here I'll use again my home stuff. I'm going to take my hands onto the books or the yoga blocks, wherever you have. Knees directly under the hips. I'm going to walk myself down towards the books. I'm going to have my hands resting off the books so that I've got the freedom to rotate the palms upwards or downwards. I'm going to allow my breastbone to sink down towards the mat and let the head follow. I'm going to hold it here. Make sure that the bottom is stayed on top of the knees. And if it's too strong on the shoulders, if there's any pinch, remember the shoulders don't like to be forced. They like to feel that they're being persuaded into the movement, and they're a ball and socket. So you need to work both ball and socket, the socket being the shoulder blade. So if you need to roll the shoulder blade around, find its beautiful position on the thoracic cage or the rib cage, then we can play with that. That'll free it up. The head can rest on your books, can rest down towards the floor. You might have your nose, your chin, your cheek down on the floor, wherever you're comfortable to be. You can hold it down. Enjoy the stretch and breathe towards the back side of the body. You guys, you might get your chest towards the ground, you might get your breastbone down, you might take your hands completely off the books or the blocks and let the breastbone move towards the ground, making sure that bottom stays nice and strong towards the sky. Chin, cheek, forehead, or the breastbone. Going to hold that breathing towards your mid-back. Try and breathe into the back of the body. Try and keep the pubic bone tucked towards your breastbone and keep tension along that core. Keep the belly drawing towards your spine and enjoy. If it's getting too much on the shoulders, bring the hands in, elbows bent, and work a little more deeply here, sinking the breastbone, aiming to work a beautiful uniform line or curve from the bottom all the way through towards the neck. 5 big deep breaths, guys, is enough there. Very gently when you come up, it's a curl from the pelvis to roll the spine up. As a counter pose, you might just take your hands right in towards the knees, even so the wrist is touching the front of the knees, and we tuck the chin and push the spine high, pressing your shoulder blades apart and the spine right through towards the sky. We'll work a really nice twist now, guys. You can move through cat a couple of times, rolling up, exhaling and tucking, pushing away through the shoulder blades, and inhale and bring it up. I'm going to move towards the wall for this twist. So I'm going to take my knee that's closest to the wall. I'm going to bend that up so it's nice and strong. Make sure I'm sitting equally on the sit bones, and this straight leg is in line at the sit bones with the bent one. Now sit up tall, use your hand to prop yourself tall if you haven't got the strength or the flexibility to stay without that hand. Otherwise it's fine to use your fingers as a prop. I'm going to take this hand and wrap it around to take hold of the leg. Make sure you've got room in the hip, make space to then fold and bring the body around towards the wall. Here you can look straight to the wall. You can use this hand as a prop and work the chest through to touch or to think it's going to touch the wall. You can even take your hand up the wall here and you can put it on any variation of diagonal. Take the other arm out long and work both hands to help assist into that twist. Trying to find the mid-back between the shoulder blades, strong twist. Keep the shoulders depressed, eyes looking forwards to the wall or around towards the back if your neck causes you no grief. Holding strong for 5 deep breaths. Enjoy that drive backwards with this long extended leg, pulling your bum backwards towards the back wall and rotating into that mid-back. Gently feed yourself back out of the stretch, sliding the arm down the wall and just swap sides, swinging around the other way, bending the knee that's closest to the wall, keeping this back hand up tall to hold you and prop the spine nice and tall. Keep the sit bones level, equal weight in the bottom, and take this outside arm, wrap it to that inside knee, holding it there. You can press the knee against the wall and squash, sandwich the hand in next to the wall. Make sure this bottom doesn't slide forwards. Keep it pulling back. Let's open the chest, maybe use the hand up the wall. Find a nice position with that arm to work the twist into the mid-back. If you're comfortable, take the other arm out and you can work variations on the arm position. Same thing, the eyes stay forwards, that's the easiest position for the neck, to the wall, or all the way around to look towards your fingers. Shoulders down, chest tall, elongate through from the perineum all the way through the crown of the head. Switch on the buttocks, drawing the sit bones together, and hold that stretch into the mid-back. 5 deep breaths again, guys, enjoy it. Make sure this bottom's pulling backwards, this chest is rotating, cross-lock from this rib all the way into your inner hip. Holding strong. Again, when you need to, we just gently release and bring the arms out of the body. Sticking with the twist, let's take it around. And a couple of variations on this one. I might turn this way to show you. Have both hands on the ground, both knees directly on top or underneath the hips. And you take our right leg out to the side, stretch it long. You don't have to do this variation. You can stay with both knees bent. I'll show you the harder variation to begin with, and then you guys can work both sides like this. Left hand, we thread it through between the right arm and the leg, and we take the hand down towards the floor. Here you can either grab hold of the leg and work a little more into that diagonal twist, or you can have it flat to the floor, or take it on the alternate diagonal. Wherever you're comfortable, we're going to hold it, maybe feed the head towards the floor. If that's strong in the neck, stay tall. Use this right hand to support the body. Otherwise, bottom stays on top of your knees. Rotate, you can look towards the sky. This top hand, it might go long, in line with your ear, and looking up towards the underarm. It might come up towards your bottom or to the sky. We might even wrap it around. Try and find this left thigh here. See my fingers creeping around to open into the chest. Keep pulling backwards through that left shoulder, so you're opening through the spine. I'll give you this view here, guys, so you can see that this left shoulder's pulling back into the floor, and I'm getting that beautiful arch, that lateral flexion through that whole left side of the body. If that's too strong on the hips or the leg, then this knee can stay here. You'll work the stretch exactly the same way with both bottoms, both knees staying underneath the bottom. So again, 5 deep breaths, take it to the other side, using your supporting hand always to feed and support the neck out of the position. Let's thread the arm through. Here, choose again to pull back into the floor. Use the room around you to help assist into that stretch. Keep the bottom on top of your knees, head down towards the floor. If you can't get your head down, prop up with this hand and keep the stretch here, pulling back and resisting your stretch so you feel it through the entire side body, through that right shoulder blade, down the arm, maybe even into the fingers. Eyes can look where you want to. You play with this arm, it can be on your bottom, to the sky, over the head. And again, if you want to, it's that left leg that's out. Try and keep the little toe edge of your foot down onto the ground and work the stretch like so. Ooh, enjoy. 5 deep breaths, guys. Hands wherever you want. Make sure this arm can always support you if it's too heavy on the neck. Blades are strong, chest is open, and ultimately we want to bring our chest parallel with the side wall. Feed your way out gently. Stay for 5 breaths, stay longer. And when I say if you need to. Beautiful. Guys, there's another wonderful stretch that I want you to try. And this requires the wall. So what I'll do is I'll actually move the camera. And you guys can see. Here we go. Place the camera there and hopefully you can see the wall. Ooh. And my body. So this one is quite intense for the mid-back. You can start on knees and close to the wall. Hands go up the wall. You can have your palms flat onto the wall, or the palms facing you with the thumbs turning outwards, working external rotation into the shoulder joint. You decide, notice what feels best in your body. We tuck the bottom under and activate into the core, pubic bone to breastbone connection, and take the arms, reach them up the wall. You're going to feed the chest towards the wall and allow the bottom to press back gently. Keep in connection between breastbone and pubic bone. If this is too strong on the shoulders, we stay out, bend the elbows and have the forearms against the wall, working a little more deeply and coercing gently, persuading that chest to move towards the wall. You can have the forehead on the wall, the nose, the chin. You can work the breastbone towards the wall, making sure that there's no pinch or compression in your shoulders or your neck. So working as you want to. Those hands can be to the wall or opening around. You can even work between the two positions. Again, it's 5 deep breaths, making sure that you're only feeling a stretch sensation, no pain or pinch. Pain or pinch is a sign that you've gone too far and your body's not ready to open into that position yet. If you're getting a pinch, try rolling the shoulders around, working the elbows wider, arms wider, and maybe not so deeply into the chest. So play moving in and out of the position or holding as you're comfortable. Maintain belly activation, strong through the pelvis, and enjoy that stretch wherever you're comfortable. Many, many variations, guys. And then bring it up. We have already worked 5 stretches, depending how we're counting. I have another one here. Here, guys, I'm going to lie down flat on my belly. I'm going to press my right hand out to the side. I hope you guys can see this. Right hand out to the side. I'm going to take this left hand as my supporting hand. The left leg back here. I'm going to bend it up and roll it back so that left foot can rest towards the floor. Here, I take the cheek towards the ground. I'm going to look forwards towards the left fingers. Hold that stretch and enjoy the whole front of that right shoulder. So here I'm getting a beautiful brachial plexus stretch, opening into that shoulder and chest. I'm going to make sure my pubic bone is tucked towards my belly button and I'm rolling into that stretch. You can see my left knee probably rolling back. Only take your knee as far as your shoulder and your lower back like, so don't force this stretch. Enjoy it. 5 beautiful deep breaths here, making sure that your body stays midline. So your right leg and your chest stay in line with each other. This left leg is turned over the top, and that's what's creating the twist. Feeling the stretch through the chest, maybe into the shoulder blades and mid-back, maybe down the forearm, down through the elbow and into the fingers. Enjoy that. When you come out, make sure the belly is helping you to roll back up out of this twist. Slowly release the arm back in. Take here that left arm out long. Keep the body nice and strong midline. Use the right hand as your support. And let's take our cheek already towards the right. This can be a beautiful stretch and you don't have to take it any further. Notice the 2 sides might be different. I'm going to bend my right knee up and here's my foot waving at you. And take it over the top and reach it back towards the floor. I'm going to try and keep my bottom tucked in so my shoulder, bottom and foot are in line with each other. I'm going to enjoy that long stretch through those left shoulder and chest, through the arm down towards the fingers. I enjoy this, taking my cheek towards the floor. I take 5 really long, slow, beautiful breaths. These are fantastic to start to open the chest, especially if you do sit at a desk all day or drive a lot or spend a lot of time in that forward bend position. Nice to open up the shoulders, and working through into the thoracic spine, the mid-back, helps to take the pressure off the lower back, and it's going to assist us when we move into our deeper back bends. So just enjoy. When you feel like you've had enough, and of course, you guys can stay longer. You can stay for 10 breaths. You can stay for a whole minute if you'd like to, but we nurse ourselves back, bringing the knee across the first, and then slowly unrolling the body out of the position. Let's take our hands, bring them back into center and bring the body up. One easy neck stretch. I'm just gonna sit here. I'm gonna take here, simple, hands down beside your body, right ear towards your right shoulder. I'm going to take my left hand and take behind the back. So here I'm going to see if I can grab hold of my right elbow with my left hand and use my left hand to help the body stay tall. At this point, I'm going to keep my right ear down to the shoulder, stretching and enjoying that depression through the left shoulder. Beautiful stretch up into this left neck behind the ear. The position of your nose is going to play a big part in where you feel the stretch. So you can dig your nose towards the shoulder, roll it down a little and really open up behind that left ear and into the front of the shoulder. To stretch into this muscle under the jaw, because a lot of us feel jaw pressure and tension up into the temples, and we can create that back of the eye headache, horrible pain. So you guys, you can take your nose and reach it forwards and play with tilting it towards the sky. At this point, open the area between your throat, the collarbone on the left, and your chin. So you're going to open up and find a stretch, almost pulling from the jaw all the way down into this muscle, the platysma muscle, the front of your throat and neck. And hold this stretch. If it's too intense, you feel compression anywhere through the back of the neck, then bring the head back gently. You can help it with your hand and roll out of the stretch. Otherwise, remembering that you can affect your stretch and change it completely by just slight little alterations with the nose. So ease the head back out. Enjoy the stretch, maybe for 20 or 30 seconds. Ooh. And then try the other side, letting your head, feels like a bit of a rubber chicken's neck. Let's take that left ear down, open into this right side. See if you can reach with the right hand to grab that left elbow. Use that right arm to prop the body tall. Allow the ear to fall towards the shoulder. To press down into that shoulder. Nose can move downwards, first finding that stretch from the back of the ear all the way down to the shoulder. Maybe you work the chin towards the chest or work into the front of that neck and find that stretched from that jawbone all the way here, all the way down just the front of the jaw, front of the ear, down under the chin. Lift and create more space between the collarbone and the underside of the chin, enjoying that beautiful stretch sensation. So remember, the neck is 50% back and 50% of the neck is the front body. So we have to remember to open the front body just like we open the back body. So working just that little more, being careful to note if there's any pinch of pressure in that back of the neck. When we've brought it down, we're happy with our stretch. Just give the neck and shoulders a bit of a wiggle, a bit of a rub. If you'd like to, you can work the Garudasana arms, working this one elbow on top, drive it down, scoop the elbows forwards. I know I said I had 5 favorite stretches, I've got a lot, so here's just one more for you. Tuck into the chin, dig the elbows forwards, try and really separate and open the shoulder blades at the back, and scoop the elbows forwards, playing with your hand position and the eye position. Just enjoying again, another 5 deep breaths. Really expanding, using the breath to try and touch right into these intercostal muscles. Spread through the whole back lungs. Open the back body. Release when you need to with a big breath. And then take the other elbow, the left elbow on top of the right, wrapping the arms around. Scoop the elbows forwards and take them forwards, opening long into the spine. If you can't get your arms into this wrap position, then because of the size of your chest or anything else, then just take one arm across the body, hold around the elbow, pull down, and work exactly the same thing, just with the arm across the body. You're still going to get the same benefit of stretching up top of the shoulders, base of the neck, through that mid-back, and you can change and work a little more twist into it. So that's just a short little video to show you a few easy, basic stretches to do for the neck and shoulders and that thoracic spine. So join me again next week, we'll do something different. Thanks guys, namaste.